We began seeing a rise in horror films during the 1920s, with many films coming from Germany and its expressionist movement. 1920's The Golem tells the story of a Jewish scientist who creates a stone-like creature only known as Golem. While frightening to the world, it is also misunderstood. I often can't help but to feel that this film either inspired the known film version of Frankenstein, or if that novel inspired this film. Following this film, we would get the world's second horror adaptation with Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Yes, 1920 featured the very first time that this story was committed to film, making its better-known 1931 version a remake. The film told the story of Dr. Jekyll attempting to separate the evil in men and accidentally turning himself into an evil creature. While being a silent film, it did try to use atmosphere better with the use of haunting musical scores. Other horror films would follow, pushing the visual of horror, such as Häxan, a Danish silent film about witchcraft and black magic. While Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde made better use of music complementing film, I can't help but to feel that Häxan did the same for the visual medium. The visual effects were pretty grand for a theatrical feature, and personally, I have yet to see any pre-modern horror film having so much going on at the same time. One can argue that the film was ahead of its time, but despite this, the film to really get attention here is the very first Dracula film, Nosferatu. While in pre-production, the studio had trouble making the film because they did not have the rights to use Dracula and could not obtain them from the Bram Stoker estate. So instead they pushed forward with their vampire film and simply named it Nosferatu to replace the word vampire with, alongside swapping out other terms. Being a visual and audio spectacle, Nosferatu was truly the first immersive horror film experience, and I feel that it can very well stand toe-to-toe with its remake, Dracula, that everyone knows of. Its special effects to make the vampire, as played by Max Schreck, was simply and truly innovative, and its set design and use of lighting really helped pave the way for how horror films would establish their general looks and feel. Join us next time as we continue through the 20s and the origins of horror.